Welcome, Canby, to the, sorry about that here, September 5th, 2012, City Council meeting. All rise for Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silence. It'll be a long night. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You all stay standing for a moment of silence for our military personnel worldwide. Thank you. Okay, start us off. We have a POW MIA Recognition Day proclamation. I'll read. POW MIA Recognition Day. Whereas the United States of America has participated in many wars, calling upon its sons and daughters to fight for their country, and whereas American men and women have been held captive by hostile powers during their military service, and whereas many American prisoners of war were subjected to harsh and inhumane treatment by their captors, which often resulted in death, and whereas Americans are still listed as missing and unaccounted for, and the families and friends of these missing Americans, as well as their fellow veterans, still endure uncertainty concerning their fate, and whereas the sacrifices of Americans still missing are deserving a national recognition and support for continuing priority efforts to determine their fate, and whereas the City of Canby is proud to join with other cities in the state of Oregon and nation in honoring those still missing. Now therefore, I, Randy Carson, Mayor of the City of Canby, hereby proclaim September 21st, 2012 as POW MIA Recognition Day in Canby and encourage all citizens to join in this observance, given unto my hand this 5th day of September 2012. We'll have
Verla Krebs.
Okay, you can come on up and we'll
Sure, I'd like to begin to Verla Krebs, who I'd like you to know that she was a World War II Army nurse, and she was married to a World War II prisoner of war after World War II.
Well, thank you for being here to take this. Thank you. And if you or anybody else would like to come up and make any other statements, I do see we have some royalty here back. President of the what is it? American Legion Auxiliary is here tonight. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Verla.
Mayor,
Yes.
well, we have our Commander John Lance and Louis Basil, World War II Navy veteran, to present you with the POW MIA flag.
Yes, on behalf of Canby Aurora Veterans of Foreign Wars, posted 6057, we'd like to present the city Canby with this prisoner of war
The new flag.
MIA flag.
Great. We'll get it flying. We'll make sure it's honored. So thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mayor Randy Carson mentioned that our VFW auxiliary chaplain is also the newly installed Department of Oregon Ladies Auxiliary to the American Legion, Pam Seeley, and Pam is passing out a POW MIA envelope, also with a flyer for our annual spaghetti dinner. We kind of put that in also because spaghetti dinners are fundraiser that we raise funds for POW to buy the POW flag that flies annually in front of City Hall. And Verla Krebs was also, the commander had mentioned she was a World War II nurse. And her husband, Wally Krebs, was a POW, Battle of the Bulge. But how many years was he a POW? 11 and a half months, Battle of the Bulge, December 19th, 1944. So thank you for this honor.
Well, thank you for being here. We have another proclamation here. The Canby Public Library's 75th birthday celebration day. Whereas the origins of our library reach back to 1937 when 3 members of the Canby Women's Civic Club went door to door gathering donations and books to start a community library, And whereas, thanks to their diligent efforts, the Canby Public Library was established in Canby's newly built City Hall on September 16, 1937. And whereas, since 1937, the library has improved the quality of life in Canby by being a vital center of learning, communication, culture, and enjoyment. And whereas, libraries create better citizens by enabling individuals to make informed decisions about their self-government, by promoting unrestricted access to information, and by serving as community centers for lifelong learning. And whereas, for 75 years, Canby has been well served by its public library, which continues to make Canby a great place to live and work. And whereas, the Canby Public Library will commemorate its 75th birthday on Saturday, September 15th, 2012, with a day-long celebration, including music, exhibits, family programs, and other events. Now therefore, I, Randy Carson, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Canby, do hereby proclaim September 15th, 2012 as Canby Public Library's 75th birthday celebration day, and encourage all residents to take advantage of the many resources the library offers and to take part in the many activities being held to commemorate the Canby Public Library's 75th birthday, given unto my hand this 5th day of September 2012 in the city of Canby, Oregon. And we'll get this proclamation to our library director. Thank you. I'm sure you want to make a couple of comments on it. Go. Great.
Well, this is a very exciting month for the library. As the proclamation states, 75 years ago, our library really got its start thanks to a group of volunteers who decided it was time for Canby to have a permanent library. So to celebrate that, we've got a range of activities for the community to enjoy for people of all ages. I want to invite everybody to our event on September 15th. It's an all-day celebration. We'll have music and food and a chocolate chip cookie contest and a celebrity Jeopardy game with folks from Canby competing. And it's all in this brochure that people can pick up at the library or is available online. Just really want to encourage everybody to come and visit the library and celebrate our 75 years and what's in store for the future.
Great. Thank you. I think it's all day, but about 3 o'clock, we're going to actually have the dedication or the...
Right, that's right.
So
right.
Be here before that, but if you want to, make sure you're here for the 3 o'clock, right?
But all kinds of historical things. We've got a 1930s fashion show. We're hoping for classic cars from the 20s and 30s. We've invited dozens of them to come, and it should be a lot of fun.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Betty.
Okay, communications?
None for me.
Okay, we have citizen input and community announcements. If there's anybody here that would like to speak, we'd like to have a yellow card, but if you don't, come on up anyway. We have one with Greg Perez, if you'd like to come up.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and associates. You know who I am. I'm Greg Perez, and I know I want to keep this short because it's. I noticed the agenda this evening. So anyway, you know I'm a straight shooter, and so one thing I just wanted to talk about, and you probably already have it in the works, but it's 10th Avenue. I'd like to see walkability there. There's a certain point of 10th Avenue going all the way to Pine. There's gravel, asphalt, dirt, curb, no curbs. And I think it's important if we work on the infrastructure like we do, but we got to be able to walk to it. And then another question is, has it been identified as a future project within the city? I know Greg might have been able to answer this, but he's not here. But are there funds, grants, money available for this project? Those are just some questions that I talk to people about all the time, and on 10th. So is it something that we already have in the works down the road? I know we have a lot of projects going on right now. Believe me, I know that.
It has been talked about. I've had some conversations with the city administrator. Right now, there aren't any specific funds for it, but we're always looking for ways of getting some grant money or others. But if not, right now, that we'll be putting some money away for that project for long-term to take it out of the city maintenance funds, not out of the street maintenance money, but out of the other funds that we get in for road maintenance. So we will be looking into that more. And I realize that now that you got your 3rd, 4th Avenue in front of the fairgrounds finally done for you after 10 years, you got to have another project. Thanks,
Exactly.
Greg.
And I think it's good for the
It
city.
is. It will be a good one. We definitely need it, especially with the issues coming up with kids having to walk to school and stuff like that. When we're going to need better walking paths and bike paths for everybody. So
Yes.
we'll try to move it up on the agenda a little bit, or at least on the.
Or just talk about it.
We definitely will be,
Something
yeah.
I'm looking forward to.
Randy, could I add something?
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, Greg, you might check with Matilda Dees.
Okay.
I talked to her more than a year ago, and on some other topics, but there has been discussion of pedestrian access along 10th specifically, all the way along 10th, because I think you'll recognize that over here by Ivy, for example, there's no sidewalks. You know, the road's in good shape, but there's no sidewalks. There's no pedestrian access to speak of. And so that was on her long-range plan, one of the items on the long-range plan, that to improve pedestrian access along particularly major streets like 10th Street, because 10th is one of the major east-west
And it's-
streets on the north side.
And it's really used during the fair time, too.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
I was amazed after the rodeo going out the back way.
People in the
And was
streets.
at the grocery store and going out, you know, through Locust and 10th and Manzanita, Maple, and I was amazed how far people park away from the fairgrounds to go.
The back gates are definitely used a lot
Yeah.
for people to
Yeah.
come in. So I think one of the projects that maybe maybe a little higher on the project is Ivy Street, because that's a county road, but we're trying to work with them to find some funds to make that walkable and bicycle, because with the two schools down there, or the schools down there, we definitely need some better access along Ivy Street. So it is on our plans to look at that even more now that we have an issue with the busing.
Yeah, and I agree with Ivy. That's an accident.
We'll try to do as much as we can.
Thank you very much for your time.
Actually, Greg, I wanted to thank you again for the pressure that you've applied over the years to get the Fairgrounds Road built, and for us and for the city staff, it is easier to move ahead on these things when we know we have public support behind it. With Fairgrounds, we had a community block grant that came to us that we were able to utilize for that. So I don't like to build roads on faith, but I do like to take advantage of opportunity. So please visit us often with this request.
Yeah, you know, and it wasn't just me. There were other people along the
definitely.
way that had input on this, so it wasn't all about
I
me. It's
understand.
about City of Canby. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Okay, we'll go to mayor's business. One of the big things we had this last weekend was the Canby Big Weekend, the Cruise In, the Dahlia Festival, and everything else associated with the 10K marathon run that was put on, that had over 400 people ran in it, and according to one of the people that were running it, there was 333 people out of the 413 that were out-of-town people. So we brought in a lot of new people to town to let them see what Canby can really be, and to enjoy Canby and spend some money in town shopping and eating and stuff like that one. So thanks for all the people that put everything on. The Rotary, well, we had I helped put the hamburger feed and the brat feed on there, and the chamber had before us had the breakfast, great pancakes with blueberries and sausage, so that was really good. So it's a community effort around Waite Park and just the whole downtown to keep things going. First Friday is coming up this Friday, so I'd like everybody to come down and be part of that one from 5 o'clock till 8 to 9 o'clock at night. There's a lot of businesses that are open that would like to have you come and visit them and spend some money at their places and just see what's going on in downtown Canby. And First Avenue, we are ahead of schedule. I've talked to several of the project manager people, and if you look down here, the curbs are in pretty much all the way through on First Avenue. Hopefully they'll pour the curbs on the backside for the parking lot and get to paving it in the next week or so. So I'd say we're several weeks ahead of schedule, and we definitely will be done by October 31st. And again, talking about safety with the schools, with the busing issues, there's not going to be any buses for the in-town area for the kids. Everybody needs to be really cognizant of slowing down, especially around the school zone. We are already scheduled to have extra police on duty around the school areas, so there may be some tickets issued, but there'll be good tickets to slow the people down that are speeding. So that's all I have.
Righteous.
That's right.
Righteous.
That's the way I'm calling it.
Well, I don't have any righteous things to report tonight, but the Parks Board did not have their meeting in August, which is pretty typical. The summer meetings are often not held. The Adult Center Board meeting is a week from today at noon, and I plan to be there, so I'll have a report the next council meeting. But I do have one thing to pass along. It's kind of along the lines of what Greg Perez was talking about, and that's paving. I had some people on the north side of town that live along Maple, North Maple, and the small streets off like 34th Place and some of the others, and they wanted to make sure that the administration, and unfortunately Greg is ill tonight and not here, but wanted to make sure the administration knew how pleased the neighbors were to get that road paved for the first time in 32 years, I believe. And and I drove down today because I've been out of town for a while, and it was done a week or so ago, and before the meeting tonight I drove down to take a look at it, and boy, what an improvement.
It is.
That's done out of our street maintenance fees that we collect annually. It was one of the projects that was prioritized a number of years ago, and I believe this is our 4th year of paving projects, and it bubbled to the top, and it is done. That is a county road. It's one of those county roads, but it's half in the city and half not, and so anyway, the city took care of it, and it was badly needed. There is one person down there that is visually impaired, and walks with a guide dog, and it is so much safer for her to be able to walk, because that's another area with no sidewalks, and so now it's safe to walk along the side of the road, and so it's quite an improvement. So.
It definitely is. And that's, like you said, our maintenance fee money and our gas tax basically puts about 3 to 4 miles at least of pavement around town each year, so we're gaining on it.
It buys about $750,000 worth of asphalt, and we get more when prices are down than when they're up. And I think this year was not one of our better years, but the last 2 years we really benefited from low prices. But.
Chrissy?
Mr. Mayor, I don't have a liaison report as I haven't had any meetings for the school board all summer, but the next one is tomorrow, Thursday, September 6th at 6:30 at the Meridian Room in the school district building. So I'll be going to that, and I'll have a report on the 19th. The library board meeting was canceled last month due to it being Fair Week, but there's something, and Penny's not here, there's something that wasn't mentioned that I wanted to point out in the flyer that she talked about. On the top half of the inside is 13 businesses downtown that will honor your library card for discounts. So your library card is gold for the month of September. So go by the library, pick up this flyer, and see where you need to go shopping and save some money. I'm going to put in
10% discounts on some of them too. That's a big
fondue.
Yeah.
And one last community announcement. The American Legion Honor Guard is having a fundraiser barbecue on Saturday evening, September 22nd. So go get your Traeger barbecue. Actually, my brother-in-law's doing the cooking, so I know it's going to be great. So go get your barbecue and support the Honor Guard down at the American Legion Post.
Great, thank you. Greg?
2 things. One, on the Main Street program, the mayor mentioned that this is First Friday, and encourage people to show up and have a good time with that. Also, the Main Street program is moving ahead with development of the committees that are necessary to do the Main Street organization, proven 4-point plan, and appreciate the people showing up for that yesterday, I believe it was. Okay. And then in terms of the Bike Pedestrian Committee, excellent meeting the other week where we had members of the Ford Family Foundation leadership class, Tracy, was there, and her husband Sean. I've got to give him credit for all of the design work that he's done on preparing bike racks and making it not only a more bike-friendly city, but a more beautiful city. These designs are stunning. We also had a visit from the Clackamas County Tourism Office inviting us to participate with them on plans for utilizing bikes as a means of promoting tourism. So we're going to come up with a couple of ideas and forward it on to them. But the committee is very excited, very active, and anyone else who's interested in biking or walking, get a hold of City Hall and we'll plug you into the committee.
Mr. Mayor, likewise, attended Canby's big weekend and served pancakes at the Chamber of Commerce breakfast along with Councilor Hensley and Hodson. And after all of these years, finally learned how to cook pancakes. Was coached by the 32-year owner of Topo Hill on how to tell a perfect pancake. I hope if you had one of my pancakes that you enjoyed it. If not, Tracy cooked it.
It had blueberries in it. It was good.
Yeah, but that blueberries, it was probably mine. Attended the Shimadzu open house. Quite a lot of fun to see all that they do there. It's amazing, the incredible mass spectrometers and things. They detect things in the parts per billion in water. Some very interesting stories that they had to tell. For Canby Utility, the 13th Avenue Reservoir is getting started on its seismic retrofit. If you drive by there, you can see equipment starting to be deployed in there. And next Tuesday, there'll be a public meet and greet with the contractor at 6 p.m. at Canby Utility headquarters next Tuesday night, right, Bob? Yeah. Knightsbridge, the new substation is moving along. It's been through its geotech studies and will be heading into the permit process, and construction on its transformer has started in Pocatello, Idaho. Will be shipped here when done. That concludes.
Great. I do have one more. This is Greg asked me to bring this up. Amanda Zyber, our Human Resources and Assistant City Manager, completed the American Academy of Project Management classes, and she now has the certificate that says she's a Master Project Manager, and she will be able to do some project management for us instead of us having to hire outside. So, she's taken on some more responsibility, hopefully this fall and next spring as we start working with the library. So that'll be a big thing to get going here. So.
And to put this into policy context, this is one of the reasons that I pushed for us restoring the funding for city staff training. Yes. That is, as we ask city staff to do more and perhaps shrink our city staff, those that remain are going to have to do more and be able to be more efficient. And Amanda spent a number of hours developing this expertise, and will save us some money.
You bet.
Great. Okay, we'll move into consent agenda. I need somebody to...
Mr. Mayor, I would move approval of the consent agenda, which includes the approval of the minutes of the August 15th City Council regular meeting and an off-premise sales liquor license application for Ebner's Custom Meats.
I would second that.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilor Ayers, seconded by Councilor Hensley to adopt the consent agenda, approval of the minutes of the August 15th, 2012 City Council regular meeting and off-premise sales liquor license application for Ebner's Custom Meats. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes 4-0. Okay, moving right along here. Any new business we have? Any coming up? Okay. How about City Administrator's staff or business report? No. Okay, we're moving right along. Again, citizen input, if there's anybody that would like to come up after hearing what we've had to say tonight. Okay, nobody's running up here. We'll go to action review.
You've approved the consent agenda, and you've also approved an off-premise sales liquor license for Ebner's Custom Meats.
Great. And since there is no executive session, you get a motion.
I move we adjourn.
I second.
And moved by Councilor Hensley, seconded by Councilor Parker to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes 4-0. We're adjourned. Canby, good night. Thank you.
We have had faster meetings, but briefly.
Oh, 3 minutes.